Hello, welcome to the Brewing HQ. This is a website dedicated to beginners, people who are just starting out and they're brewing in these things. And today I thought we'd just talk about something that's been getting a lot of hits on our site, and that's the legalities of brewing. So I think this is an article you wrote, Gar, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we'll start off by maybe just going through the different countries. We've been getting hits from America, Canada, the UK, Sweden, I believe.
Yeah.
Australia and New Zealand. So we're going to try and cover all them as we go. So do you want to say a few words?
Yeah. So the legality of homebrew is an important topic for beginner brewers because you want to make sure you stay on the right side of the law. You want to make sure that you
Absolutely.
stay within the allowed thresholds of the amount you can brew. You want to make sure you don't distill illegally. So the last thing you want is a call from the police or to get heavily fined. So this 5-minute video could save you a good bit of hassle and money. So stick around and watch the full thing.
Okay, so we start with America.
Yeah,
So it's legal in America.
it is.
It is illegal, and I mean you can't sell it, but you can brew it, and you can consume it up to 100 gallons a year for one person. If there's 2 people in your house, I believe it doubles up to 200 gallons. But there's a cap off at 200.
Yeah, so if there's 5 people in the house, that doesn't mean you can brew 500 gallons. So it's 200 gallons per household where there's 2 or more adults.
Yeah.
So that's the cap.
And the health and hygiene is a huge factor, so they don't want anybody selling a product outside of their home that hasn't been tested. So I think it's limited to consumption in the house.
Yeah, Jimmy Carter legalized it in 1978, so you're pretty much good to go in America, right?
Yeah, good to go. Yeah.
In Canada, again, you're good to go in Canada. It's legal to homebrew in Canada, in most of, if not all, the states. Now, each state in Canada is legislated independently either. So whatever state you're living in, you'd have to go and check the local regulatory boards. But for the most part, if you live in Canada, you're good to go.
Okay. And Ireland, I think we've been getting a lot of hits from Ireland. It's legal in Ireland. You can brew it, you can drink it, but again, you can't sell it. You can't produce it for resale. If you want to get a license, it's incredibly difficult. You have to go through all sorts of hoops and procedures. And
yeah, I always thought it was a strange thing in Ireland actually, because we have such a traditional link with alcohol. The image of the drunken Irishman is quite a common thing, but we have very, very few microbreweries in Ireland.
At the moment, we're getting some more. They're popping up now.
Yeah, and craft beer is kind of taken off here, but you'd expect to see lots of home brewing and as a result, lots of microbrews. But that's not really the case in here because the regulatory framework is kind of tough to get started.
It is.
But the good news is it's legal.
It's legal. You can brew it. You can drink it, but you just can't sell it. Yeah. And I think Australia, New Zealand, is that roughly the same kind of story? You can brew it for your consumption in the house. Yeah,
you can,
but not resale.
And if you think about it, I mean, Alan, you lived in Australia for a while. I don't know if you knew anyone that homebrewed there.
I did, yeah.
I think you can brew it with no limitations in New Zealand. You can actually distill as well, with no limitations, but you can't sell it.
No.
So if you think about why can't you sell it, governments want to protect their income stream. So people have been brewing for thousands of years, and governments know that people will continue to brew for 1,000 years. It's a pretty steady income stream for them to tax alcohol. Also, if you were to let anyone kind of sell a product, a food stuff for human consumption, that could be a dangerous society. Yeah. Plus, cheap, unregulated alcohol is also a dangerous society. If you think of what happened in London,
Yeah, and Australia has a responsible kind of service of alcohol law that if you give somebody alcohol and they go out on the street and get hurt, you're liable.
Yeah, and if you think of cheap unregulated alcohol is going to put stress on healthcare and hospitals and police force and fire brigades and all sorts of stuff like that. So that's why it's regulated.
It's heavily regulated.
You can kind of think about it.
And what's the next one? In New Zealand.
So what are you going to do with all your homebrew if you can't sell it?
Well, when we brew something, we have something in mind for that.
Yeah.
We have a party, we have a barbecue, we have people come around. So most of the times when you do a 5-gallon batch. You know, it nearly all goes in a day if you have enough friends there.
Yeah, and I find that I give away the majority of my homebrew. Now, you can't sell it, but you can give it away.
And get your bottles back. Yeah.
You could donate it to charity, and that's one of the things I always say. Look, if I'm going to give you 6 bottles of my most recent ale, just return the bottles cleaned.
Yeah.
So distilling, right? Distilling, similar to homebrew, well, not really. You can't distill in most countries. Probably because of the strength of the alcohol.
I imagine so. And it's flammable in a lot of cases, isn't it? It's very flammable.
Yeah,
so there's a more of a health and safety kind of an aspect to it too.
Yeah, so although you can brew beer in most of the Western world, you can't distill. Now, New Zealand is a bit of a paradise for homebrewers because you can brew and you can distill.
Wow.
And as a result of that, New Zealand has a really, really good, local boutique brewers. I mean, per head of capita, there's a huge amount of breweries.
Really?
Yeah. So there's a whole heap of variation on distilling and brewing. But again, you can't really sell it without licenses and stuff like that.
No, that seems to be across the board. You can't sell it. You can make it, you can consume it, you can give your friends it, but you can't sell it. It's a whole different set of regulations when you go into sales.
What about wine making?
Wine is similar to beer. You can make it, you can consume it, but you can't sell it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and in fact, you can use some of the same equipment in wine making.
Exactly the same. Some of it. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, it's legal with limitations in some countries, but you can't sell it. No.
Yeah.
We've talked about some of the countries and legalities and the limits in this video, but if you want to go to thebrewinghq.com/legal, or you could Google that, we've got much more information on your local regulatory boards, maybe some of the penalties and fines, and a bit more information about what you can and can't do where you live. Hopefully we've covered your country.
Absolutely. And there's a lot more information there. You can browse through a lot of different articles that we've done in the past, and we hope to cover them in a video as well in the future, so stay tuned.
Yeah, and just one final thing. My daughter Tara made this, and she would kill me if I didn't say hi, Tara. Say hi, Tara.
Can we see this?